As we prepare to re-enter our sanctuary for worship on November 1st, our church leadership thought that it would be helpful to provide this video to explain to you some of the changes you should expect to see and experience. First, we will only be entering through the west entrance, where the portico is, and south entrance, the front of the church, to limit everyone's potential exposure to the coronavirus. With the elevator, portico, and ramps, those entrances are the most accessible for our attendees and visitors who may require assistance.
Our greeters will be wearing masks and gloves. As happy as we are to be with you in worship, we have asked our greeters and ushers to refrain from handshaking, hugging, and any other physical signs of peace which would require close physical contact.
Once inside the foyers, there will be folks to greet you, take your temperature with an infrared thermometer, ask you a few basic health status questions, direct you to the sanctuary, and remind you to wear your mask. Should your temperature be above 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit, we would notify you and ask you to please not attend services in person that Sunday, but invite you to return home to worship via the online broadcast on our Facebook page.
We also ask that if at home you have been feeling ill, running a fever, coughing, sore throat, that you please respect the health of your fellow church members and stay home until you are feeling better.
After you enter the narthex, the ushers will seat you. The pews have been marked on the seats at the end of every other row with tape in the form of crosses. Please do not sit in these rows with the crosses. We have asked that the ushers seat the front rows first so that it is easier social distancing and folks are not passing by close to each other.
Our balcony will be open, but it will have limited seating capacity. We would prefer that you sit in the main sanctuary. We encourage families to sit together to maximize seating capacity, and please continue to wear your masks for the duration of the worship service.
Our worship service will look a little different from before the pandemic started. It will be similar to our parking lot worship service in duration and format. We will be adding our children's sermon, but the children will remain seated with their families for the entire worship service to maintain social distancing guidelines. We will not be dismissing the children after children's sermon, and the nursery will remain closed during the pandemic as it would be too difficult to ensure sanitization. You will also see that instead of a normal offering collection, we will set the offering plates on stands in the narthex just outside the sanctuary at each door. Communion will be taken with individually wrapped wafer and juice to avoid extra handling. At the end of the worship service, Pastor Ken will remain at the front of the sanctuary and will dismiss us back to front, again so we can maintain proper distancing. We would ask that if you need to use the restrooms, that you use only the 3 restrooms on the main floor and refrain from entering while others are in the restroom.
We ask that you do not congregate in the foyer or hallways for socializing, but instead socialize in the parking lot by still maintaining social distancing. These times are full of confusion and worry, so we hope you will understand and comply with these measures we are taking, which are for the health and safety of all our friends in Christ.
Our dependence on Christ is certainly magnified in these days. God bless you all.